What's good with my first time livers? It's your boy Stone Wilby, aka the Nature Boy. It's like, nah, I'm playing, but it's your boy Stone Wilby. It's my first time living. I know it's your first time living too. And today, I want to talk to you guys about the importance of putting yourself out there. And when I say that, you might think that I'm referring to relationships with a significant other or, putting yourself out there to date. And while this conversation does encompass that, I'm also just talking about just our relationships in general with other humans, whether that be friends, whether that be family, whether that be our intimate relationships. I think it's so important that we put ourselves out there and we give people the opportunity to know who we are. We give people the opportunity to be led into our lives and to really, just give them an opportunity to be interested and act on that interest. And I think it's important to act on your interest for other people as well. A lot of times it can be uncomfortable. I completely understand because I'm an introvert myself. I'm naturally an introvert. I prefer to be to myself, and if I am talking to people, I prefer to skip the small talk and whatnot and get into the deep end. But y'all could probably tell by the things that I talk about on my channel. But I'm definitely an introvert, and even to be recording this video is a little uncomfortable for me. To put videos out is uncomfortable. For every time that I post a video, I do have to fight some sort of resistance. That's just who I am naturally. But how do you guys know who Stone Wilby is? How does anybody know what's going on within Stone Wilby's mind? How does anybody know what Stone Wilby cares about? How does anybody know what Stone Wilby can give to this world if I don't put myself out there? And if you don't put yourself out there, then how do you get to know other people? How do you get to know what other people have to offer? And that's not even to be transactional. It's just to say you never know the opportunities that you're missing out on if you don't put yourself out there. How do you find your wife? How do you find your husband? How do you find the girl? How do you find the boy? If you don't put yourself out there. If you don't put yourself out there, how do you find fellowship opportunities? If you don't put yourself out there, how do you become a part of the church? How do you get involved in groups? How can you help anybody? How can you glorify God if you don't put yourself out there? As humans, one of the most important things about being a human is our relationships. A lot of people who go through anxiety and depression, a lot of them don't have anybody to confide in, and a lot of times that's how depression and anxiety will manifest, because you don't have anybody to tell how you feel. You feel lonely, and it's usually the people who are isolated, or the people who are going through things and just don't tell anybody, the people who go out in public and smile and make everybody laugh and then go home and they're lonely at the end of the day, that are going through things, that are going through clinical depression, that are going through anxiety and whatnot. When we were babies, we cried out for our mothers, we cried out for our fathers or even maybe our older siblings, grandmothers, whoever your primary caregivers were. We cried out to them to be fed, to be rocked to sleep, to have our diapers changed. So I hear a lot of people say that a relationship to a human are like claws to a tiger. That is our ultimate defense. We need relationships. We need our relationships. And with that being said, I want to go into a little... Oh, hell. Y'all, nature playing with me right now. I don't know. That ain't no ordinary fly, I'll tell you that much. But, anywho, With that being said, I want to tell y'all about a real life situation of mine that just made me realize how important human relationships are. And I could go on and on about this, but I'm gonna give this example here. But this past fall, I became a part of a men's group. And prior to this men's group, I attended my first men's group the spring before. So we got spring and fall semesters, and I decided to follow up my freedom group in spring with a life after freedom in fall. And so, I had a group of men that I met in the church. And as I became more and more involved in the church in spring, I got to meet a lot of people. So in fall, I decide, you know what? Cool. I see a different list of names here. Let me go ahead and follow. It's only right that I follow this up with life after freedom, considering that I already attended freedom. And this was a brand new group. So like with this group here, we're pioneering it. We're the first men's group to be a part of life after freedom. And we're actually the only men's group as a part of life after freedom right now, which is pretty cool to be a part of that pioneering experience. But besides the point, I see a list of names that I had no clue who they were, but I'm like, you know what, this is uncomfortable. And I embraced it because I'm like, yo, I'm getting to meet new people. I've already seen how the Holy Spirit has used people to plant seeds in me, to speak life into me, and to continue maturing me in my faith. So I'm like, it's only right that I meet new people. This is going to be exciting. So fast forward, we get to the introduction ceremony or whatever you want to call it. We assemble, and I'm looking around, and I don't see anybody my age. I'm seeing a bunch of women, older women. I'm like, okay. And I'm looking at men, and at this point, I'm not realizing that, we're the only men's group. All the men there, that's who I'm with for the semester. So I'm looking around. I'm like, okay, still waiting on some guys to pour in. I'm thinking, I'm going to walk in there and I'm going to see at least another 20-year-old, 21-year-old, somebody around my age. So we finally get seated, and, all of the women are at their each group is, at their tables. I'm looking around, and I'm like, hey, are you such and such and such? Are you such and such and such? Oh, nice to meet you. Finally, we get to the table. I look around and realize that all of the men appear to be at least like 40 plus. And I'm like, I had no clue what to talk about at that table. Testing, yo, stop playing. Yo, okay, yeah, y'all hear me.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. My name is Stone. Last name will be. Nobody can tell me what I won't be.
Alright, yeah, just test my mic. Anyway, sorry about that, y'all. My camera overheated, so we let it cool down and we switch locations because that's just what we do. Gotta keep it moving on, shit, keep it peak. So yeah, we're sitting at the table. It's a lot of moments of silence because, as I mentioned, I'm not too good at small talk. Don't prefer it. And these guys are like not even my age group. And honestly, it made me feel intimidated because, I'm just a 21-year-old managing a Dairy Queen at this point in time. And I'm looking around and I'm like, yo, these guys probably got their homes. They probably got their families, wife, children, probably mature in their faith. This guy over here is jacked. These guys already know each other from previous men's groups. And yeah, I'm just 21-year-old who showed up to the pack, you feel me? And so I leave there feeling like, yo, you know what, I'm probably not even going to continue with this. I walked in feeling good because I'm like, I'm going to meet new people. But then I leave with the attitude of, this probably isn't for me. But then I just thought, and I was like, I haven't even attended my first group yet. I haven't really got to know these guys yet. And if I want to grow in my faith, it's only right that I put myself around older men for, that wise counsel, and like to also just get to know a multitude of people. it's only right that if I want to grow in my faith, I put myself around different people in the faith. These guys, they just happen to be in a different phase of life. So why would I let myself miss out on the opportunity? Why wouldn't I put myself out there? This was one of the most uncomfortable situations to put myself out there because, like I said, it unlocked some insecurities in me. But through pushing through that discomfort and through attending the group anyway, those, God real quick healed those insecurities. It made me realize, don't judge a book by its cover, and don't for a second think that you have nothing to bring to the table. Just because you're young, or just because you feel like you're not where you want to be in life, just because you're not meeting the unrealistic standards that you have for yourself as a 21-year-old. Because I joined this group, and off rip, the first guy does a great job of just being vulnerable. And as men, we tend not to want to be vulnerable because we feel like it makes us weak. If we let our guard down, we let people in, we can get hurt. And as men, we pride ourselves in our strength. But the first guy does an amazing job of just getting uncomfortable and breaking that ice with the group. And then I quickly realized, as we're going around this circle, that, bro, I am not the only person going through things. I'm not just some 21-year-old who is here and is just a little immature and a little baby in the faith. I'm not just somebody to be looked down upon. Quickly, I realized that even into manhood, men are struggling with lust. Men are struggling with infidelity. Men are struggling with addictions. Men are struggling with lack of faith. Men are just getting into the faith. Men are... What else? Men are struggling with divorces. Men out here are socially awkward. And it was through the vulnerability, it was through putting myself out there that I got to realize this. And this doesn't even just go for faith or just being a part of the church or being in a group, but in any and every situation. It's just putting yourself out there teaches you not only a lot about other people and what other people are going through, but it gives you the opportunity to realize that, hey, your life isn't as jacked up as you think, because everybody's going through something. We're just all in different chapters, we're all in different phases, and we're all moving on different timing. We're all holding ourselves to certain standards that we're not meeting. Some of us are, some of us aren't. But the more you get around people, the more you realize, like, bruh, I'm just simply another human. That's all it is. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm just another human. Not only that, but it's given me the opportunity to also speak life into people, and that's also taught me a lot about myself. Like it's one thing to have the Holy Spirit move through people and to bring that life to you, but it's another feeling. It's a completely different feeling when the Holy Spirit does that work through you, and you're sitting there praying, and you're like, yo, I just spoke life into my brother. Like, at the camping trip, we had an opportunity to pair up with each other and just talk to each other about what we're going through. And then you're like, and I'm just there, and I'm like, dude, I just prayed. I just put my hand on another brother, spoke life into him, and prayed. I didn't even know I had that in me. But point being is that, it's only through putting yourself out there that you get to learn these things about yourself, that you get to learn things about God. Even, like, probably the biggest thing, learning things about God. Today I had the opportunity to go to a Jesus God-centered run club. We jogged, and then after, a friend of mine, and as well as, like, along with the group, had an opportunity to baptize and witness a woman getting baptized. And it felt great because, again, you get to see how the Holy Spirit is moving through people. And during that time, I just had the chance to talk to some brothers and sisters and just talk about, like, just hear testimonies and get to share my own, and just, hear different perspectives about how God moves. And sometimes, we can think that, God, we have a lack of him, or we're not doing enough. And then, you have that person who's going to speak life into you and say, hey, like, it's not your doing. God already did it all. Sometimes we need that reminder. We can read the word all we want. We can pray to God all we want. But sometimes we need that little nudge, like, bro, I think you're thinking about it the wrong way. Even like if we're talking about godly relationships, different things like that. It's like, point is that, like, when you have people to confide in, you have somebody who can, keep a good head on your shoulders. You have somebody who can check up on you. You have somebody who, usually you have people who are willing to speak that life into you. But it is up to you to put yourself out there and allow people in. If you don't allow people in, then nobody can help you. The church can't help you. And that's not to say that you'll never get hurt. At the end of the day, we are humans, but not everybody's going to hurt you. There's a lot of people out there who want to help you. There's a lot of people out there who are going to help you see things about yourself that you couldn't even see in yourself. The amount of confirmation that I got from people who just say, like, bro, I can really see you as a leader. Like, I feel like you have a lot of wisdom to share, and I feel like you have a lot of life to pour into people, and I can really see you being a leader somewhere in the church. That feels amazing to me, because, like I say, like, just like Moses, I'm thinking, like, who am I? I'm a baby in the faith, but for somebody to see that in me, it's like, wow. Like, and then to get multiple confirmations is like, God, I think God is, speaking through the Holy Spirit, through people. And then you start to realize, you start to look at yourself different. Like, through putting yourself out there, that you give the people the opportunity to see, what you can offer. You get the opportunity to see what other people can offer. And you're like, wow, maybe I'm more than I think I am. And then you get to answering those callings, and then you surround yourself with people who are speaking life into you. We need that. We need each other. The church is not the buildings. The church is the people. We need the church. We need each other. Jesus didn't walk earth alone healing. He did it in fellowship with the apostles. And that's not to say that he couldn't do it alone. Jesus is God. He could do whatever. I'm sure he could. He did. Yeah, he did limit himself to a human. But the man was working miracles. I'm sure that, if the Father wanted to, he wouldn't even sent Jesus down. He could have healed everybody, put his hand out, healing here, healing there. But the point is that, Jesus walked the earth in fellowship with his disciples, with the apostles. And I think it's up to us to, truly follow that example. We got to put ourselves out there. It's not about, waiting until we're good enough. Come as you are. You're good as you are. And guess what? Putting yourself out there is only going to make you better. Putting yourself out there is going to teach you about people. It's going to teach you about relationships. It's going to teach you a lot about yourself. It's going to teach you a lot about God. But if you don't put yourself out there, you miss out on the opportunities to learn about these things. If I hadn't put myself out there, if I hadn't gone to the Christ Run Club, I wouldn't have met the guys who invited me to that camp trip and that fellowship. If I would have rejected the invite to the fellowship trip, I wouldn't have met the guys that I met at the trip. I wouldn't have had the opportunity to speak life into a brother the way that I did. I wouldn't have learned the things about myself that I learned. If I hadn't put myself out there, y'all would not be seeing this video right now. If I hadn't reached out to that friend probably like this time last year or maybe next month, if I hadn't reached out to my friend and asked, hey, are you still going to such and such church? And went with her and then started going by myself. And then if I hadn't acted on that sermon where pastor said, you guys got to get in community. My apologies, y'all. My mic died. Everything is trying to stop me from recording and finishing this video. So I'm gonna make this ending quick. My mic died and my camera's on 10%. So saying all this to say that if I hadn't gone to that club rush, if I hadn't listened to my pastor's message about getting into community, if I hadn't got into community, if I hadn't put myself out there and got uncomfortable to say, go ahead, let me go ahead and go up to one of these club tables and get signed up to something, I would have never met one of my closest friends in the church who got me connected to other friends, who connected me to other friends, who connected me to this club, which club connected me to this club, which club connected me to the run club, which club connected me to so and so and so. Y'all get the point. If it wasn't for me putting myself out there, I would have missed out on so many opportunities. So this is to say, y'all, if you're in the church, get into fellowship, get into community, join that group, join that Bible study, go and talk to people. If you see a girl and you like her hair texture, say it. That's what I did today. Hey, such and such, y'all like your hair, like, do you put anything in it? Trust me, it's not that hard. Just talk to people and don't even get it twisted. Like, I do it myself. I overthink it. Oh, like, how do I start a conversation with this person? What do I say? Bro, trust me, people are just as scared as you are. People are just as timid as you are most of the time. But don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Whether you want to go up and talk to a girl, women, whether you want to go up and talk to a man, or whether you're just trying to get in fellowship, you want to talk to the same sex, whether whatever it is, whether you want to talk to an older person, try to maybe get a little wisdom, ask a little question, whatever it is, just don't be afraid to put yourself out there. You have a lot to offer and other people have a lot to offer, and that's what makes life fulfilling. Is like, what can we learn from each other? How do we better each other? How do we strengthen each other? How do we look out for each other? How do we speak life into each other? What advice can we give to each other? What can I learn from such and such experience? And what can I teach such and such from my own experience? And that's ultimately what I'm doing with it. Ultimately what I'm doing with this camera, just teaching you guys, just giving you guys wisdom from my own experience. And that's all wisdom is. Don't let anybody make you think that you're too young or you're too inexperienced or you're not spiritually mature enough to give out wisdom. With that being said, I do pray that you guys take everything that I say with a grain of salt, because I am just a mere human who is just telling you guys my experience. So whenever I'm talking about anything spiritual, please exercise discernment and talk to God about it and compare it to the word if I'm ever getting real spiritual. But this video is really just to say, like, put yourself out there, because if you don't put yourself out there, you miss out on so many relationships, you miss out on so many opportunities trying to stay safe. And it's like, safety's cool, but look at all the things you miss out on. It's like staying in the crib the rest of your life because you're afraid of getting injured and you don't experience the world. Like, who wants to do that? Life is inevitably dangerous, but life is, the experience that we get to have, the people that we get to meet, and ultimately it's the people who bring those experiences and really pour life into those experiences. So put yourself out there. My name's Stone Wilby. It's my first time living. I know it's your first time living too. So be graceful, because God is. Go and talk to somebody new today. Join that club. Talk to somebody. Reach out to somebody. Nurture those relationships, create new ones. I'll see y'all soon. Peace.